That's all right. I can't see it, by the way.
Of course you can't see it. Do I need to send you the link
Last time I
again?
could. Last time I could. Oh yeah, send me the link.
Fine. Uh, where was I? Live. Um,
We're live?
yeah, I think we're live now somehow.
Okay, so
Uh,
clean vocabulary representative.
Not the clean vocabulary. Anyway, ugh, Jesus, ages. Welcome, guys. We're back at this yet
We are
again.
mhm.
Um, what are we doing?
Sending the link so that I can send it to people and you can send it to people
All
so that they can
right.
laugh at
Yeah,
whatever it is we're doing here.
of course, that makes sense. Did I send it to you? I did. Um, and this time we starting later. Yay. You feel so moved. That's why. So yes, guys, we're just sending links to people because certain people just adore us, quote unquote. Um, let's
All
get
right.
it started. Why am I singing soca? Anyway, it's fine.
I don't know. You could have put that as the intro.
I mean, I could play it now, but I don't know if it'll come across any stream, but we'll see.
That's true.
It's fine. Um,
Okay, so they can't see all of that.
but
Oh, you
it's
put the
fine.
flags on.
Well, you did ask for the flags, obviously. Um,
Okay, okay, okay. That's the right colors too.
well,
Right
I did.
position.
Wow, not you judging me because of your flag. Okay,
No,
so
just in case you always judge me on my about judge my entire country. So
it's not my fault that Curacao flag is easier to remember.
hey, don't
Uh,
don't don't push any buttons, all right?
I am not
Don't push
pushing.
any buttons.
I have no buttons to push at this point in time. Well, not yet at least, but
Hmm.
life is a game that you must play to win. Um,
Oh, not that code again.
I mean, it's my favorite code though, like don't get me wrong. All right, just don't get me wrong. Just don't get me started. I mean, my crack voice is fine. Happy Monday, everybody. We just waiting for the feet to spice up before we get, you know, things. Um, as I scroll through these messages, there's somebody I have to message. Oh,
So we send it to everyone, I think.
well, everybody who I would like to see this, more or less. And if anybody else sees this, well, congratulations. Welcome to our miserable world.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine.
Trying to do a miserable broadcast with this miserable brother of yours, but I digress.
All David Villafana.
Well, he said it, not me particularly.
So
Um,
last episode or last video, whatever you want to call this,
yeah, yeah,
you were
last
paint
video.
you were painting you were painting my coat of arms, or my shield, or whatever you want to call it as well.
Well,
How
yeah,
how
more or
far
less.
did you reach with that?
Same place where I left it off. Actually, no. I did touch it, little by little this week, but being a Samaritan transitional, um,
Transition.
it's not easy to stop and do these things. However, um, I should say that we've been doing well in terms of um, getting back on the art scene again because my last painting was actually a
In the
warm-up to
seminary.
do, yeah, it was in the seminary and it was a warm-up to do your logo and it ended up being a spiritual exercise, more or less. More of it on my Instagram account, and TikTok.
Which one are we
Um,
talking about here?
I think it was the one with the cross and the soldier. I mean, I
Oh, right,
could
right, right. Right,
Yeah,
right. Also,
yeah,
yeah, well, that would be the last one you made on your tablet,
that's right.
right? Because
So
after that, you did paint a few things for the seminary itself.
I did um because I also did my own graduation painting, which is not of me,
Hmm.
but that was more or less the background for the was it the dining hall, I think it was, which is
Yeah,
still there,
you
by the
made
way.
you made the whole scene with hills and things like that
Correct.
that you had
So
that you painted in one night.
yeah, I wish I had to show it, but I refer to my
Well,
Instagram or my
you
TikTok.
have piece of it. Yeah, you have
Yeah,
piece of it on Instagram, I think.
yeah, more or less. But for the people who don't know, so I graduated this year in May. And Steve was basically the what the how do what do I call you in that please? Um, I had the name and I lost it. But Steve was more or less the pusher to say that you need to get this done, you need to get this done. Um, and I had to paint a scene which was kind of
No, that's
odd.
not true.
That is true, and I wish
No, no,
Stephanie
no.
was here
I
to do
would be
that,
the
but I
one who was
digress.
telling you you need to rest, you need to rest, you need to do nothing, let other people do it. It is your graduation. You're not lifting a finger. Eventually you did anyways.
Yeah, because I was bullied not to lift a finger, but I digress.
Not only
Um,
by me.
by a few others as well.
Okay.
I could call their names. Ansem, Gee,
Justin.
Justin. Justin's gonna kill us if he finds his name on this. Um, but
I should send any link.
I you'll have to rewind to get that part. But anyway, big up Justin. But no, I think that was the only thing I did, which was the which was the only what do you call it? The only
No.
actual thing I did because most of the day I was out of the house and you
Yeah,
kept buffing me and
which is
saying,
good.
stay out, stay out, stay out. And I was like, hey, cool.
We
Um
were preparing for your graduation. You can't be there looking at us and seeing the things that we are doing.
and I use the excuse of saying we are called to serve and you keep telling me stop using that stupid line in
Yeah.
your own way, particularly.
Right.
But anyway.
Supplemental words thrown here and there.
Yeah, I learned some very unique words that I hope the people of Aruba is actually seeing this. But anyway, Wagwan, Brandon, thanks for joining us. Um, anyway, shall we? Uh, yeah. So don't worry, man. Your art piece getting done. It's getting done. I mean, sort
Okay,
of
well,
procrastinator, but
as I said last time, I hope it's done by my 26th birthday.
I was gonna say 27th, but Jesus is Lord
Oh,
to
oh,
the glory of God the Father. Yeah.
okay, okay. So what have you been up to this last week? What did you do that is interesting for these people?
Ah, huh. Interesting question. What did I do this week? I lay in the office under the book. I'm actually talking about a real office. Um, Parish ministry. Um, I did a funeral. Um, not fully, but I participated in one. So, I'm learning, how to bury dead people without
You didn't
hesitation.
bury people yet?
I mean, not in the way that you're saying it, but I assisted
I
in
did.
yeah, we know. We know.
I did four.
Yeah, you did four, I did two. Okay.
I did four, and some of them basically I kind of wanted to help them push the coffin inside, but
I mean, you see what I have to work with anyway. Um, it's not
hey,
like
I'm telling you, there is an experience when burying people for me that is full
mm,
of grace.
it's
And
full
remember,
of
we
grace.
right. Remember that we learned that
Hmm.
burying the dead is an act of mercy.
It is. It is.
So
But
it is with that in your thoughts. You don't even know the person that you're burying or praying for at the moment. You just know that you are praying for this person and that it is an act of mercy.
actually, strange
So
enough, I did know the last person who was buried. Um, he was a parishioner in the parish, and he was like Mr. Dress for every occasion kind of a person. So like for Palm Sunday, I think it was the last time I saw him. He wore full red, like red glasses, red hats, red shirts, red pants, red socks, red shoes. I wouldn't put past him if he had on red underclothes, but Jesus is Lord to the glory of God the Father. Um, but um, the only thing is that the funeral was really small. I think that was one of the
Right.
things that shocked me because I think the family decided to bury him. Um, not too much people to know any close family and whatnot. Um, which could be sad on the parish too, because the parish had a relationship with him, and um, you know, it's all a learning curve for me, because I usually attend funerals and I usually sit in from the congregation side, or the last funeral that I did before coming here was my grandmother. So that was a whole new experience for me because before that, the actual last family member that died, um, but I mean, in-house family member that died was my grandfather. That was 10 years ago. This year will make it 11. Um, but there's something about funerals that leave you, I guess, pondering about your own life and the lives of others. Um,
Right, and
so,
that is what I find graceful in every funeral
well, when I
because
get
it
to do
reminds
mine,
you, huh?
well, when I get to do my first one, I'll holla. I'm just saying, since you're the professional, shove them in the hole kind of person. But
Remember that in Aruba we don't put the dead in the hole in a hole. We put them in I don't know how to say this in English. We stack them on top of each other.
so you cremate them,
No,
you
they go
bury
with the
them
coffin and all. Not in the ground. In
in a tombstone kind of thing.
yeah, above
Okay,
the ground.
let's just say that you guys know what we're talking about for the sake of conversation.
Yeah,
Um,
let's yeah, and you can change the topic for we're talking too much about dead people.
right, right, because you just enjoy talking about dead people. Um, so besides that,
But for the sake of the show, or for the sake of the video, let's change change the
wait,
topic.
wait. So yeah, so besides the funeral, uh, I had meetings well, now I'm going to train new lay ministers, hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Um, what else? You swear I graduated the other day and I'm editing an essay bright and early this morning, last night into this morning. Like, who does that? Like, after you finish school, like, who wants to see another essay again? Like, really, who? But um, interestingly enough, the essay was about mental health. And somehow I
Right.
feel like, we're talking about dead people and we're talking about mental health. It seems like there's a line to something that probably the Holy Spirit is calling us to talk about tonight.
Oh, I don't know. What comes to my mind right now is the fact that it's been a point of talk among clergy and among seminarians, I presume as well. The priest in Italy that committed suicide, um,
Mm,
which has been a focus point for a lot of priests, even here on this small island, talking about how and what can the church do to secure the mental health of its clergy.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that is something that is very interesting even for us seminarians as we're going into this way of life, this complete self-giving of ourselves.
Correct.
How can we as future priests, God willing, help one another to maintain our mental health
Yep,
in a world that is ever changing, ever evolving, more secular,
that's
and
right.
our role as priests or future priests being diminished by the day?
Mm-hmm.
How can we maintain our mental health?
And it's interesting you bring that up because it's not much conversation here in Trinidad and Tobago, but When I did arise, it was like something that just spread wildfire on WhatsApp. And, it made me think about it in terms of, the face of the church has changed over the years. And what I mean by that is that, the idea of priesthood being this, you know, um, it could be glorified in a way that, that priests, no, they don't have nothing wrong, they just have to deal with people on a regular basis and blah, 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 blah. But it's like all of that plays on your mental. And, um, even for seminarians too, it's like it's crazy because in the seminary, your primary focus is study. Out of everything, out of all the other pillars, the spiritual, the pastoral, the intellectual, and the human, your main pillar
Mhm.
is intellectual. There's time for human, there's time for spiritual, there's time for pastoral, yes. But when you're there, you're trying to focus on, what classes have been trying to tell you, what you try to remember for the past 3 hours of lecture. Some are just 3 hours straight without a break.
Mhm.
Unless you fight for a break. Um,
Mhm.
some we won't go there. We had our stories.
No, 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 that's that. We both thinking of certain lecturers,
Certain lecturers, let's just leave it
but
there. All we can say is Um, um, if you know who is, put it in the comments and we will
I
leave
hope the
it there.
brothers are looking
Right?
at this.
I really hope the brothers are not looking at this because but it's like if you
You
don't
wicked man.
oh, we love you, love you, love you. Yes, we do. Anyway, but if you really don't take the time for yourself and rest, the pressures of studies can kill you. Kill you. Hope I don't get banned for that, but anyway. Um, but yeah, I mean, that is the final thing. But when we in seminary, they always mention, you have to die to self. And
Right?
that terminology changes as time progresses, as semester progresses and whatnot. So,
And the years go by.
and the years go by, yeah, because even right now, there are a lot of things that I have died to myself. As I say, when August the 15th come, that's a dying to myself. When September comes, and this is the first time in so long that I will not be going back into a classroom, will not be going back into study or any of those things. Um, it feels weird, but it's also a call to dying to self because you're taking the experience from the classroom into the praxis of church.
That's true.
And that in itself could drain you because it's
Ironically, my mother and I was talking about something like this
mm,
yesterday. Yesterday evening, we were talking about how life continues to change even if you're not a seminarian, but
mm,
you're a growing person yourself. So things will continue to change either if you're living in a seminary, you're trying to live a celibate life, or you're learning how to become celibate. And
mm,
also for people who are not in the seminary, who don't have that discipline, who don't have to learn about that discipline, but still their life continue to changes as well.
right. And
And it can be draining, as you just said, for any person,
mhm,
and it can work on your mental health. But sometimes, as seminarians and for priests whose lives still seem a little obscure, people don't know what to talk about or what to ask a seminarian or a priest. It it can feel lonely sometimes, and again,
mhm,
it cannot help your mental health.
mm,
And we don't know what happened to this priest in Italy. We can only pray for his soul. But we are trying to learn and to be with each other, the brothers, and to maintain a healthy relationship with all the brothers in the house and with our priests, so that we can we can at least trust each other to talk about certain things. And
Mm-hmm.
that is one of the things that we were talking about, actually, the priests here in Aruba, and how to make sure that we can have a good relationship with brother priests, so that when things get hard, you are not alone.
That's right. I and we grew up with this kind of independent, individualistic mentality where it is that
Excuse me.
before seminary, I could do it. I don't need anybody else. It's me against the world. And you've been doing that for years. And when you enter into seminary formation, it's less of me, more of us. So, um, in terms of the priest from Italy who committed suicide, um, there were two words I think I remember. I had a meeting with a friend today, and he was sharing some things that was very deep. Um, and I told him that, the work, the work with trust and us is where the you is placed. In trust, you is in the middle, and all the
Right.
work that you have to do builds to the middle of you, and you have to be able to trust in order to grow and to be open and to have conversations and build relationships. And us always starts with you. You have to be the person to move first, to see where things are going and discern in your spirit and your heart. Like, can I trust this person? Um, and companionship is something that, we other people are afraid to enter into because when you are with someone and you're having beautiful conversation from beginning to end, and then all of a sudden the next day they disappear. You know, you and yourself have to discern, well, let me rephrase that. It makes you question, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Where did I go wrong in the conversation? Like, did I say something that triggered him or her? Did I say something that
At least you're putting it in a nicer way, though, because I was start asking myself, what stupidness is this? What did I do?
right,
Or what is this? Why do I have to go through this again? Or things like
correct,
that. So yeah,
correct. And the thing is that, we both of us come from two different countries. If you can see the flags at the bottom of the screen, Aruba and Trinidad. I mean, we're very similar in terms of certain things, but in terms of people, it can be different. um, Based on our conversation, really. Um, but it's that in order to trust, you have to go through it, and you really have to go
yeah,
through pain. Um, and all of that is basically building your strength and building your hope for a brighter tomorrow. Because you can't just move around like happy-go-lucky. Oh, they don't talk to me today. Well, it might happen tomorrow. And you keep holding on to that little hope, more or less. Um, but so many things play on our mental. It's like when you really think about it, as soon as you get up in the morning, something occupies your mind.
right.
And you know, that one thing could occupy your mind until the end of the if it is that you don't deal with it properly there and then. And as children, we weren't given tools. I mean, I hope the children of this generation are given tools because, in our generation, we weren't given tools to say, if you feel bad, this is what you should do. If something is hurting you in your heart, this is what you should do. If you're afraid to speak to somebody because you felt that you did something wrong, talk it over with someone, which is what scripture says. If you think your brother has wronged you, you come with one and then you come with the whole community. And if it didn't work out, well, leave them in peace. Um, and then we have the mentality of we don't know how to let go when something is not working.
Right.
Right? Good night, Shaquille. Welcome to our live. Hope we're not boring you, but anyway. What
Another
was I
thing,
saying
another
now?
thing, many people don't understand when it comes to, especially to priests, not seminarians yet, but
Hmm.
especially to priests, is the amount of things that a parish priest do or has to go through.
Oh
with
yeah.
it with his parishioners. And I'm not saying that the parishioners can become a drag or become something heavy on the shoulder, but it is, we are working with people, and we are
Mm-hmm.
working with many people, and we are working with many characters and many things.
Many, many,
So,
many things.
and many problems as well, in which people come to you for guidance, for help,
Mm-hmm.
for consolation,
Mm-hmm.
for prayers.
Mm-hmm.
You would always have to be the strong one, or the one who is bringing God's love to the person
Mm-hmm. Every day, every minute, every
every day,
second. And
every day.
you know, I wonder at times that, sometimes I wonder if the people of God know that the man that has been chosen by God is a human being and
Is still a man,
and is still a limited vessel. So,
right?
as much as, you would like him to be the everyday, right under God, you know, he still has his humanity and his his issues to deal with. Like, he still has a
His
family.
limitations.
Exactly, he still has parents, he still has siblings, he still has friends. And
He still
some
has a
friend
temper.
he's he still has a temper.
He still has a temper.
Lord. Good evening, Stacy, and see if we got a good evening from Stacy on. I don't know if
Good
you're on this.
evening.
Yes. So, um, so the thing is that people think that
We have a question.
we do.
Yes.
Let's see the question. How does one unpack or unload from the weight of dealing with people?
I'm
Rock,
gonna
paper,
pass
scissors,
it
let's
to
go.
you.
Rock,
No,
paper,
I'm gonna
scissors,
pass
let's
it to
go.
you
I mean,
because my first reaction might not be. Let's go with the calm version first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I am the competition. All right, never mind.
Aren't
All
you?
right. Well,
I think the whole house would agree.
okay. Um, for me, I think the mere fact that, people come with different, I'll use the Trinity, different spirits when they're coming to meet you. And I'm speaking from a seminarian perspective because being in the parish now, the people would know the priest more than the seminarian. And um, especially this parish that, is new to me and it's they're warming up to me more or less, right? Um, Dealing with people, particularly those who hold on to, church hurt, people who hold on to, um, well, father of the last priest who was here used to do so and so, and I don't understand why this priest here now doing so and so, and as a seminarian, I feel like as though we don't want you to be so and so, and then you have people who try to fit you into the mold of I want you to be the next father so and so. L- I think I could use names. It's safe because people know priest in Trinidad. I want you to be the next Father Steve Ransom. I want you to be the next Matthew Duro. I want you to be the next David Kahn. I want you to be the next um, Cornelius Philip or Father Martin Esigwe or Father Emmanuel. It's like all of that is what you
The other way
receive.
around as well, no?
Yeah.
And that sometimes can come as surprising or hurt.
Hmm.
Don't be like father so and so.
Hmm. You do get the
Don't
don'ts.
act like father so and so.
And for the sake of
And
this, I will not use names for that one.
no, neither would I. But still, it's not nice because again, it's a fellow father, fellow priest, and
Hmm.
God bless them as well. But still,
Hmm.
it's the emotional heaviness that comes with demand, if I can call it that.
Uh, um, I think what would help in terms of dealing with it is having a companion on your journey. And for me, I have good friends that I keep in contact with. and they know my tone. Steve, you know my tone, so you know that whenever I'm
You
not,
know mine.
I, yes, I know yours, and sometimes it requires to hold back everything from Steve, but we wouldn't go into that tonight for the sake of peace.
You
Um,
people hold things back from me.
where's my rosary? I should have it nearby. Oh, you know what? Saint Michael is fine, right? Just put that there. You are falling
Oh, so
into
you
a
people hold
deep
things back
prayer.
from me,
Not, you see why I say
right?
it for the sake of peace. Anyway, um, but having someone to talk your day with or writing it down, that's one thing. Um, because sometimes when you deal with somebody very heavy, um, sometimes you just don't want to go with, to go on with it. That's just me. Sometimes I'll just be like, let me figure out what happened here, invite the Holy Spirit, and then say, Father God, this is what happened in this conversation. I don't know, help me navigate it, which you should be saying during the conversations that you're having with people. Um, but for me, it's like having a companion. So fortunately for me, um, I have two Steves, Father Steve and Seminarian Steve. And when Father Steve is not available, Seminarian Steve is available. But I also have friends as well that, you know, that know me before Father Steve and Steve knows me. And, they would help me see things that I didn't see in context with people's conversations, with people's spirits, with people's things. And sometimes I get enlightened and sometimes I'll be like, no, that's not it. Um, yeah, I guess that's what I could think about so far in terms of how I
I would give the
handle.
same advice actually. I would give the same as advice.
Mhm,
If you put it into my perspective, you again in the seminary, it's both you and Justin would know this part very well. Is that I would rant and I would become upset, and in all of that, I would
mhm,
I would talk a lot and I would say a lot of things. And most of
mhm,
that time, I would not allow myself to process or to look at it in another way. That being said, that is where brothers and companion come in place because
mhm.
God uses us as well to help each other. So then Aruban blood pressure goes up, and here comes a Trinity seminarian like David or Justin
Here
with a
comes a
calmer
ram.
voice, a calmer voice, uh, calmer perspective, maybe not from Justin always, but still, and another
Yeah,
way of seeing it, and things like that. And
Justin could be a
you would,
Reuben, but anyway.
you don't say that,
I'm sorry, continue.
and and you would get another perspective on what the problem is, and sometimes it would come help you to come down and unload and take off that load from your back or whatever the thing that you've gone through in the
Hmm.
seminary and also in the future with parish life.
Hmm.
So companionship is one of the things. I would also say know yourself too,
Hmm.
and know the situation that you might be in,
Correct.
and and if it's the first time, then learn from it because
Hmm.
most likely it will return. So especially for priests, most of the times confessions is one of the things that we have that priests will have to do, and hearing confessions, you will hear some of the confessions repeating and repeating from different people, and you would
Hmm.
know what type of answers or counsel to give to some people. So
As you said that, um, so stick up into what Steve said there. Hope you have your point to continue. Um, People, there's a difference between confession and counseling.
okay,
I just want to throw that into the ring because 2 times this week I had to deal with people who wanted to see Father for confession, and really and truly it was something that should have been taken for office hours. Confession deals with your sins. Counseling
right.
deals with what you're struggling with in terms of your daily life, in terms of your activities, etc. With that being said, continue.
Yeah, that is the point. Actually, that deep. You made me lost my point there.
Yes, you were talking about, now you make me lost the point. Um, you were talking about the seminary in terms of the companionship and, trusting people.
Oh no, but yourself as well. So learning
Mm-hmm.
from the things that you go through helps you with unloading and unpacking things that you go through.
Right.
Again, because of sometimes these things will continue to happen. And the best thing to do, apart from all of that, is to bring it before the Lord. Because
Okay.
even though the Lord will help you in terms of learning from whatever is happening, and will help to bring someone to you that will help you with the counseling in terms of a brother or a companion.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it is you need to remember that all things go back to Him. So He would be the one who would guide you and help you with unloading and unpacking. Um, I almost say nonsense and stupidness from people. But yeah,
Oh, you can say it. I mean, that's fine. I mean,
yeah.
people don't always say,
And
straightforward
it's not
things all the
always
time.
that, no? It's not always that. It's not
Right.
always nonsense and things like that because sometimes people really need help.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, yes, they come with things that are a little people. We are still priests or seminarians. Well, when it comes to priests, then people
Right.
people say see priests as if they should be all knowing and they should have answers for everything that has to do with everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But some people actually need a spiritual help, a spiritual guidance, a spiritual companion, and there's where the priest comes in.
Mm-hmm. And let's take a pin there for 2 seconds. Jeremy, good evening. Welcome to our live. If you have any questions or
Do you think,
anything like
Jeremy?
that, you can drop it in.
Yeah, we
Um,
were talking about the mental health of priests and
mhm.
well, in this case, priest
And
seminarians and all
seminary
clergies.
and people and all clergies
Yeah,
as
and all
well.
people. Yeah.
Um, Also, one thing too, um, I think this was a danger for me in the earlys, and it could be a danger for anybody. You see this thing about, keeping it to yourself, and nobody needs to know what you're going through because only you and God know what you're going through. That only works to a certain extent. And
Oh, yes, it does.
it only works to a certain extent because
Until
if you
you pop
exactly,
like a
and you
zit.
yes. So, um, for me, I remember I popped like a zit a few times in the seminary to the point where I didn't explode and say not tell everybody. I don't know, insert censor words here. But
I'm a
I did
witness of that.
I did not tell him anything bad, just saying. Um,
No, no, no. No.
no, but the silent treatment is what
I
he
do
got.
explode,
Yeah, he
and I explode,
we're basically opposites. Let's just put it that way.
and I go boom,
And
and
I
I
go
go boom.
and I go shh. Um, but
I
um,
tried I tried this a few times.
and I tried to boom
The
a few times, and it's
no.
so once we clear that picture, I think we're good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we're
The
good.
the shit the silent part leads to a bigger boom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And um, actually, benchmarking on what you said in terms of keep being able to have the companionship moving forward. Um, I remember, I think it was last semester. I had I I had a
Brandon says, "Don't go boom, please."
but we fully understand. Yeah, we fully understand. We got you.
Yeah, fully understand.
Yeah, just don't, I don't think you want to see Steve go boom again. I mean, I've half marks to prove it. Anyway, um, and that was basically me trying to hold him back. But that's a story for another day. We could probably take
No,
it
it would
out.
never be a story for no day.
Okay, fine. You know what?
It
That
will be a
just
story for no day.
that's lock and key in confession when I get the purple stool.
Thank you.
Anyway, but yeah, there was a moment, and I'll be brief. Um, where I was vulnerable with someone in the seminary, being able to, tell them how I feel because at the time Steve was not there. Steve was in the ministry. And, I was kind of holding it to myself for a few days. Brandon, tell me one this story.
Go,
uh,
keep going, David.
see, I got the boom, right? Yeah, um, yeah, so my two people that I go to is between Steve and Justin, and um, there's another seminary, and I also go to Jimmy from time to time. But there was another brother who I went to, um, total trust, total everything. Like, I don't know, my spirit just said go. And before I could even go, he came to me and he was like, David, I noticed something is wrong. What's up? I was like, you really want to know? And the dialogue flowed from there. But the advice that brother gave me, um, it it made me think deeply in terms of what it is that's really bothering me, or what it is that I allow to bother me. Because to be quite honest, and I think it happens to the best and the worst of us, things live rent free in our mind. And why are we paying rent for things that that should not worry us or should not burden us or should not, be on our shoulders? Yes, we have, I mean, not seminarians, but, as human beings, there are a lot of things that we struggle with in terms of how are we financially taking care of ourselves, how is education and balancing a job, how is, my family life and my family situations at home. Without me there, I can't just pick up and run to go and help mom or dad or anybody else in that situation. Because I've literally dedicated my life to God, to the church, and the service of the church. Um, so it really caused a dying to self. But I am there. I think we had another question, which came from
Yes,
Shakil.
opposite to having a companion. How will you deal with the making yourself less accessible to people who carries a heavy load that you cannot bear?
Um,
I'm trying to carry mine still. I'm
I
still dealing with
mean,
mine. So anyway.
well, go ahead. I mean, unless
No,
you want me to
no,
give
no,
Brandon this story.
no, Brandon. That story is on lock
It's
and key.
lock and key. Yeah, I think you need to get the password to get that.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
I think
Um,
I think the answer is
I don't think making yourself less accessible is a very good advice that you should be giving to priests or seminarians, because the whole point of us is to be accessible to people who are in need of a companion, a spiritual companion. Of course, this is not always the case, or I mean, people don't always come with things that they need companion in our form, but to make ourselves less accessible is not a an option that would be beautiful for us to have.
that's true. That is true. Um,
Because even if the people is coming with a form of nonsense, if I can use that word again,
mhm.
you're still required to be present. And this is actually a calling to all brothers, actually, to
Mhm.
everyone towards each other.
Very good. Somebody's
Everyone
taking
towards each other.
advice.
Shut, shut up. Shut up.
Somebody's taking advice. I'm happy for that. And it's not mine. Anyway, um, all right. I think the answer, and to piggyback rather from Steve's answer, um, the answer is within the question. It's you. You are totally in charge of that conversation. You are the person who would determine what you want to receive and what you shouldn't receive. and what should just be, processed over time. Um, there's a saying that we say in Trinidad, and I learned it very recently from the other Steve, which is tongue and teeth must meet. And what does that mean? I'm still trying to figure it out. But for the context of this conversation, um, you have to know what you want to take into this. Because I think I've had a similar situation with this where I was hospitalized about a month ago. It was a month ago by now, a month and plus.
Yeah,
Um,
around Corpus Christi.
right. And um while I was sitting in the hospital, there was this guy, very happy, but really on the inside he was struggling with kidney stones. And they did not have the machine to handle any of that. But this guy, um, he really inspired me, more or less, in terms of how he was dealing with pain. He knew what he wanted, he knew what was necessary to reduce the pain. Um, but he, for most of the conversations that we had, because we were in a waiting area, for most of the evening, um, he he spoke about, the goodness of his life. And, I sat with that all evening. I was like, I came here because, I was dehydrated. I was in so much, I was weak and I couldn't take care of myself. So I needed the doctor to do something for me. And this guy is also doing the same thing, but, he's grateful for things of his life. And then up comes this woman. And this woman come and she is very heavy in spirit. And, she's talking and talking and talking. And most people were ignoring her. Like typical Trinidadians, if it is she talking all the time in strippiness, as we like to say here, or um if she making
It's
no
not our
sense,
business.
it's not our business. We drink water and mind we business. But somehow in my spirit, I listened. I didn't say anything. I didn't give feedback to anything. I listened. And she herself more or less untied everything on her own. Where it was that she talked about her family issues, she talked about her daughter issues, she talked about her health, she talked about her man, she talked about everything under the sun for more than half an hour. And in my sickness there, I just remember the man. He celebrated his life and everything throughout pain. And long story short, at the end, she saw I was listening, and she saw nobody else was listening to her. Either people fake sleep or people move forward, etc. And she turned to me and she said, "Brother, thank you. Thank you for listening to me." Because I felt like if nobody was listening and you were there looking at me while I was talking, listening, I feel better.
Mm,
Now, if they can get me up onto this, so on, so what, I will be fine. Um, But the lesson I was trying to teach there is that you are in control of the space. It could be somebody very close. It could be somebody you just met. It could be somebody you in and out with friendships with. You are in control of what it is that you want to hear. And, you know, you can't go into heavy conversations alone. You have to go fully protected and fully armed with Christ, because
right.
you could easily take that upon yourself and you can easily fall into uh what you call it, a spiral hole of, you know what what did I get myself involved into, and start to blame and start to look at it as from your perspective. So many things can happen, but you have to be in control.
One of the things that I heard you mention as well is, or I get from your story, is not it's not always also about whether or not I want to listen to this person,
Hmm.
or because sometimes. Sometimes, actually, many people come. They don't actually need help. They only need someone to listen. They need someone to let it out with. Sometimes it can be, as we were mentioning the word, it can be a load on you afterwards. But still, it is a calling in itself to listen and to hear other people's um, uh, problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not if as if I, well, today I, as a priest, today I don't want to listen to people's nonsense today. So I'm not going to do confessions, or I'm not going to do pastoral counseling. I'm not going to do this because my head is full. I have a headache. I have something. I have my own business to attend to. It's kind of your calling to be someone who listen and to help. It is a calling of everyone to carry his cross,
Yep.
but it is more so a priest calling to carry his parishioner's cross with him.
Yep.
It's not only his.
Sometimes that cross is a heavy piece of steel. You just have to walk. I mean, sometimes it
Full
just
of
involves
thorns and full of nails,
full of
but
spikes,
still,
but you still have
and
to
full of
carry the
spikes.
cross because it's your cross. It's your cross. Well, I hope
Right.
that answers the question more or
I
less.
hope so too. Well, it was a
Yeah,
very good question to be asked at that moment.
it was because, so it could happen to any of us that we have a friend with a very
Mhm.
heavy spirit, a very heavy day, you know. The thing is, it's a blessing that this person speaks, in my opinion, um, because it's difficult to hold all of that inside of you, at times, and sometimes, you can't hold it back. You have to let go. So that's a positive twist into it, that this person is letting go. And if it's too much, or if they're repeating themselves, it's because they've held on for it for too long. And they need that space to let go. Unfortunately, if it is that you feel that it's heavy, fortunately, it's you.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Brandon said something there.
We don't want to listen to, we don't want to listen. It happened to me today, and I just left the client vexed, took the feedback for work, and found out she is long lost family. Wow. She felt heard, and I was lighted for her, for it. I was lighter for it. Sorry, my eyes are seeing a black screen. Sometimes we don't realize listening can heal or give us clarity. That's right.
Yes,
That's it.
yes, that is it.
That's it.
When you are vexed, when you are upset, when you are angry, you will not get any clarity from yourself, from your own mind.
Hmm.
Preaching to myself. And
What? I mean, right now, I just wish, like, emojis could just allow me to just, yay, there's a light.
and it is at that moment that you need healing, and it will come from someone who is listening to you.
Mhm.
And sometimes that person doesn't even say anything. David, stop it.
I'm just celebrating you. That's it, you're learning,
That
and
person doesn't even have to say anything.
that's right.
As long as you remove the load from your back by talking and talking it through, it's gone.
That's right. And the thing is that that person talking it out makes their cross less heavy and less burden. And you may feel like as though your cross is like, being added with more thorns and whips and chains and whatever the case may be. But no, you just have to remember that, you're being just that, a listening ear. Don't involve yourself in it unless it's necessary, unless they're talking about you. Then that's a way that the both of y'all have to heal with. But if this person is coming to you with their family issues or their particular things, let them talk. There's too many talk in this world and less listening. We need more listeners than talkers.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Hence we have this podcast to vent.
We
uh,
also, and everyone's cross is different. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it.
One's cross can be heavier than others, or my cross could look smaller than your cross, but it's not to get upset of the weight or the size of the cross, just as we said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's to ask God for the additional strength to carry our own crosses every day. Prayer is not a one-time thing.
Nope.
Um, and it's interesting he said that because we think prayer is like a magic formula to fix everything in our lives.
No.
And you know, um, it's there's a reason why things happened in the world how it happened. And I always say that the fall, and I think the church says as well, all necessary fall of Adam. And if it is that Adam didn't fall, we would not learn our humanness. We would not learn what's right from wrong, what is sin, what is good, what is evil. We would all been walking like gods on the earth, and it would have make no sense because all of us would have been living like, we know everything. So then what is our purpose of living? We'll get bored. And
Right.
that's a more humanistic way of looking at it. Um, so discovering ourselves, discovering God is an exciting thing. I mean, I could honestly say, um, as a child, I never saw it like that. I just was excited to get out, learn the world. But when you get to learn the world, you realize that without the tools, the world could be a very scary and wicked place. Or as we like to say in Trinidad, wicked and bad. But um, you really have to take the time to discover life. I mean, what you learn today is not going to be the same tomorrow.
It's
Um,
interesting how before we started today's video, we were discussing on what to talk about because we really didn't think about anything at all. We didn't have
mm,
anything planned. I was
we
kind of
didn't.
upset with you, and all of this coming out of nowhere. And I remember just you saying, you mentioning the Holy Spirit and how he guides conversations, and see how we got into a very interesting topic
This is why we
without.
don't give Steve the boom. But anyway, move forward.
What do you mean the boom?
Oh, this is why you are the boom and I am the shh.
We balance each other,
Mm, Cheers to that. Well, with 3 minutes left, um,
right?
do you have any closing thoughts? Does anybody have any closing things? Any ideas for next week so we could sit in a coffee shop
Right.
and talk about them?
Yeah, one in Aruba, one in Trinidad.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the nearest in where I'm at is probably Rituals. Is it? Do we have a Starbucks
Uh,
here?
I,
I don't know. I think it's a
I,
Rituals near
I
me.
have Starbucks around, I think.
I'll find a
Not like I drink
Starbucks.
coffee, but anyway.
Not that I
But
drink, well,
anyways,
I drink tea, but yeah.
yeah.
But actually, no,
No,
I
I
think
I would just
I
say,
drink coffee sometimes, but it depends on the crowd.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I would just say that we started this conversation off with mentioning mental health and how important it is for everyone, but especially for clergies and for seminarians.
Yeah.
And we went all into talking about how we, or especially priests, but for the future us,
Hmm.
would have to deal with loads and things that will come into our. Oh, look at that topic for next week, David.
What's it? Counting your black.
Hmm.
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 You guys just out for us, aren't you? But okay, sure, we will take the challenge and talk about it. Um,
Yeah, so I was just saying to see how that conversation developed on mental health and going on what is expected of a priest,
that's right.
and what we have to carry sometimes, and how we help people carry their cross. I hope that sheds a light on how important it is for the parish community
Hmm.
to help their parish priest in their
That's right.
mental health,
Yeah.
because it is their mental health, their stability, if I can use that word, that will
Mm-hmm.
guarantee that people will get the help and the listening and the attentive ear and that
Mm-hmm.
counseling. So please, people, keep your parish priests in not only in prayers,
Yes.
but help them sometimes with their load as well.
In
Help them
other
with their loads.
in other words, if it's an issue you could fix on your own, fix it on your own. If you know is
Now you're being bolder than me.
I'm trying to be the boom here, but anyway, if you know that, your priest is overwhelmed, talk to them. Or just tell them, Father, I'm here. If you need to vent, vent. If you need to pray, pray.
Yeah,
I'm here.
because sometimes we need it too.
Yes. And to
Some of us
quote,
may need it daily.
secondly, but I'll leave that anyway. But to quote Cardinal Tagley, sorry.
Ugly, take a little.
Tiggle is a man. I wouldn't say a man, but yes, he's a man. But he's part of the clergy team here. Um, According to Archbishop Tagle, Cardinal Tagle, yes,
Cardinal,
Cardinal. Forgive me, not long.
Bishop Priest, Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy, right? Still look those. Woo, woo. After mass, sisters and brothers, go home. Your priest is exhausted. He has another mass to do. He has another thing to do in that day. Go home. If you want to see him, office hours are available. That
That
applies to
is
seminary
true.
as well.
That is true. That
Right?
is very, very true.
Praise the Lord.
I keep forgetting that my room is also a highway to go into the next room, so people keep crossing the room while I'm recording.
I think you should throw holy water in that room, but I
For
digress.
YouTube.
For YouTube. But anyway, so we've made it to the hour. Thank you all for
Yes.
watching. Steve, thank you for being here. And, I guess we have a topic to discuss next week.
Right. Right. You know, who would be a good person to have in this conversation next week?
Weatherfield Justin. Justin, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Uh,
He would be the perfect one to talk about counting your blessings. He would be the
yes,
perfect. Here comes. Okay, okay.
yes, that is true. Very true. But then the two
Right.
of y'all, I can't handle the two of y'all in the same space until I throw holy water on the two of y'all. But I digress. Anyway, guys,
Oh yeah.
peace and love. Gratitude is a must.